anyways, it's time to go actually and explore Kokiri Forest. And I think this is going to be where the main episode is going to take place, is seeing how Kokiri Forest changed from before and after of the Hero of Time. But here's our friend Saria, which later becomes the Forest Sage. And I guess something else just noticed that Link has some cloth for his door. Instead of an actual door, he just has some cloth and a ladder. Saria is finally noticing Navi. And something else, that none of the other Kokiri's fairies really has much of a name, or they don't really say that they have a name. So my question to y'all is, do you think a lot of the fairies actually have names, or is it really just fairies or just fairies? And now she is talking about it would be an honor to go talk to the Great Deku Tree, and that she will wait for us here until we get done. Now normally, some people has already noticed this, but it's still a little bit unclear. And yes, Navi, thank you for reminding us. But as I was getting to, is that this picture on Link's tree here, most people believes it is Link from Skyward Sword fighting the imprisoned. I also ask, what is the thing above Link? So besides that, here is Kokiri Forest. And as I've said earlier, all the houses here are made from trees. So you could pretty much see it still growing, or at least where it's been cut from each of the houses. You know that they've been really big trees, but there's not very other big trees around here. And the only one that is much bigger than these is the Great Deku Tree itself. So right now, we will have to go and talk to Mido or Mido. So now we are here to talk to Mido. And he is also getting the word that we now have a fairy and that the Great Deku Tree has summoned us. And of course, one thing to notice about him, I think he thinks he's better than the others. And of course, he's one of the Kokiri that takes things more serious as well. But now he's telling us that we need a sword and shield, And that leads us to collecting some rupees, and that may actually take a little while. I remember the shield should be around 30 or 40 rupees. So it may take a little bit to actually collect it, but while doing so, we can still explore the Kokiri forest, and we can think about how it has changed throughout the years. And so before we actually start doing things, we are probably going to read a few of these signs and talk to some people to understand a little more of the Kokiri. So, let's see. Just ahead is the Deku Tree Meadow. That's where he's blocking the path. We also have this small pond here. And let's see. Well, yeah, House of the Twins. I forget what twins. Alright, well, she's just talking about the rupees, so, and I guess just they're known as the twins. Now, one thing I'm gonna keep in mind and have notes of, even though this is minor, when I was looking at Twilight Princess one time, I noticed of all the different pots that were around the world. So normally in the era of the Hero of Time, the only pots that we have is this, and pretty much a clay pot with a black outline and a white design to it. Now my question is, where did the Kokiri get these? Did they just find them out in the forest? Did they trade it with the Deku Scrubs in the Lost Woods? Because the main thing that you should know is that the Kokiri can't leave the forest, and if they do, it's said that they will die. Or at least that's what they believe. And some people believe if they leave the forest, they just may go through some changes. And that may lead to what the Kuroks would be, or a few of the other creatures. But, let's see. What do you have to say? So, knowing from this guy, we just know Mido, he's a little bit more bossy and probably would talk people into things. Since we also know that he likes Saria, in which it seems that Saria likes Link more. And Saria's house is also one that has a design around it. And, a lot of hearts. So let's see. Now, what kind of stuff would Saria actually have? Well, for the way that her place is designed, there's a lot of cloth and decorations here. Has a few tables, a bed, and some bigger pots, which could hold probably some fresh water or something, or at least a little bit of food. But her house is also one of the ones that actually has a pathway to go up and across these bridges. And in the 3DS version, these are also known as stone pillars with more of a design towards like Saria's house and the clay pots. So there's that. And then there is the pond right there, which has the stone slabs, which could also have been part of some pillars. So for what that tells me is that Kokiri Forest was also part of some ruins. Alright, so this person is telling us the controls to actually look around, and pretty much as we can see, pretty much forests and hills. So yeah. So moving on.